I'm Roxanne People, and I'm going to be talking about E3 again. Okay, so this episode is going to be about third person and a little bit of RPGs. If you want to see my other videos, then you want to click here, because that's where they all are, right here. Just click on them and you'll see videos of me talking and stuff. The titles kind of give away what they're talking about. And yeah. Anyway, let's get started with Gears of War Judgment, which got announced. And this is supposed to be about Baird. He's on trial for something. He's on trial, and you're playing through the hearings, like the stories that he's telling as part of, you know, his trial or whatever. Not much else is known about this game, but it does have a loose release date of 2013. Transformers Followed Cybertron is looking pretty good, and the story is about Optimus, who calls on a Transformer who's also a city, so he's just like giant. So Optimus has to get this Transformer to help him in the war, and yeah, it's pretty cool just because I saw the video and it's pretty seamless transforming when you go from Optimus to like Optimus car. It seemed really smooth and just a nice quick transition, and that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool for a Transformers game, which that's usually the problem with Transformers games, is that it's kind of a pain in the ass to change into different things, and you should be able to change whenever you want. Well, this game is actually going to do that. There's also going to be a bunch of different guns, like leeching guns, electric guns, rockets. You can also customize your Transformer however you want, and that seems pretty awesome. They said that that's like a couple hours you could spend in there just with all the options that you have, which sounds awesome because now everyone can have their own Transformer. And in case you're wondering, the game releases on the 28th of August of this year. Lost Planet 3 showed off a lot of new stuff, including like giant mechs and new creatures like the Pack Hunter or whatever, which is like this hairless, faceless dog that just has like teeth and a mouth of like four flaps, and it kind of looks like a skag from Borderlands, but giant and in a pack, obviously, because it's a pack hunter. And it also has like four whipping tails, so that's pretty cool. But what's really cool is the giant VS that you get to go into. That's really awesome. The game is set before the events of the first Lost Planet, and you play as this guy, Jim, real original name. He's a miner who's there to do contract work, so that way he can provide for his family who's back on Earth. But he gets kind of like pulled into civil stuff there and just problems. The game, unfortunately, kind of looks more like Lost Planet 1 than Lost Planet 2, which I guess it's good for some people and bad for some people. Like, I personally hated the first Lost Planet. I didn't even want to play the second one, but I ended up playing it, and I really liked it. And it felt like a totally different game from the first one. So if you like the first one, then it looks like it's going to be like that again. So you're going to like this one. Hopefully, I know that a lot of people who played the first one were complaining a lot about the online for the second one, saying that it wasn't the same thing or whatever. I thought it was fun, but okay. But like I said, it kind of looks like the first one. So those of you who got kind of put off by the second one, you might want to give the third one a chance, because that way you don't miss out on a game that you might enjoy. The same could be said for those of us who only like the second one, because, just because this one video kind of looked like the first one doesn't mean that it's going to play like the first one, so we might also want to check it out. Darksiders 2 is looking pretty awesome. In the first Darksiders, you were playing as this god of apocalypse or something like that, War, and now you're going to be playing as his brother, Death, which sounds way more awesome. And while War was more like clunky with like the big weapon and slow movements, but like deadly movements, Death is like really agile, so you're gonna be able to move around quickly with him and then strike quickly, which just, I don't know, I kind of prefer that to the clunky characters, but if you don't, then you're probably not gonna like this game. But it seems pretty cool still. It's still really good though. I mean, just don't get put off just because you usually don't like playing with agile characters, because he's not super agile, but he's not War at the same time. It's a new character, new abilities. He's gonna play differently than War did, and you just have to get used to it, kind of. But it looks really nice. Blood, guts, swords, killing, magic. Looks awesome. There's a lot of parkour in this one because, again, he's very agile. So, you can kind of like jump from wall to wall, whatever. It's kind of like a side-scrolling Assassin's Creed, just like, doo-doo-doo. But again, it looks awesome, and it's going to be coming to Wii and Wii U, Xbox 360, PS3, and PC on August 14th. The Amazing Spider-Man, the game, looks really nice for a movie game. Like, I know usually movie games are just god awful things that should never see the light of day, but this looks actually really good. Like, I'm usually the main problem with Spider-Man games is that it's kind of difficult and just not very fluid with the movement of web slinging through New York. But this looks really good with that. They seem to have fixed that problem, and it's just like while you're web slinging, what you can do is you can pause and then look at your options and then pick which one you want to go to. Like pick your next couple steps or whatever. So then you just keep holding it and you'll keep going. It's kind of like with Assassin's Creed when you're hopping and stuff. You just hold forward and hold the trigger and you'll just automatically pick the next one. That's kind of what he does. But again, you can pick your different options if you just like pause it and like look at the different options you have. It works really well and it seems really awesome. Lizard has been confirmed as being an enemy in this game, but they can't really say much more than that because of the movie, because the game actually continues where the movie leaves off. So, yeah, that's pretty good marketing, I gotta say, because then you're like, I should go watch the movie and then buy the game, and yeah, and the company's just like, yes, we're getting double money. Well, like, I don't know, like 7 times the amount of money that they normally would get. Another awesome thing about the game is that there's going to be like little collectible like comic book pages all over New York City in the game, and if you collect all of them, you get a full comic. So that's really awesome. I like comic books, so I'm kind of nerding out here. But anyway, there's also the pre-order perks where you can get Rhino and you play like a side mission where you play as him, and it's like a challenge thing. I think it probably has something to do with destroying as much as you can in a certain amount of time, but they weren't specific on the challenge. And then there's the pre-order perk where you basically get a Stan Lee skin as like you're still Spider-Man the character, like your abilities are the same, but you're just Stan Lee instead, which is pretty cool. And then there's another pre-order perk that they didn't want to say anything about, but they did say that it's about Spider-Man's 50th birthday. So I've never really followed Spider-Man that closely, but I'm sure those of you who are like avid fans know what they're talking about and can probably figure it out. Okay, so they just said that they can't say anything, but that it has something to do with the fact that it's Spider-Man's 50th birthday this year. Defiance is a third-person game that's going to be like a big MMO world type game, and it seems really cool just because the concept is that in the game, things that players do will affect a show on Sci-Fi by the same name. So that sounds really cool. I want to see how that actually works out because that'd be awesome. I mean, the writers must be really good because that would be a pain in the ass. I would hate to be on that writing team. Like, you can never plan ahead pretty much. You can plan a little bit ahead, but then there's always going to be that one week where the players are just going to totally fuck up whatever idea you came up with, and you're just going to be like, God damn it. We have to start from scratch. Motherfucker. The basic storyline is that aliens have crashed down on Earth, and you can pick to play as humans or aliens, and they're basically trying to set up like colonies and stuff, and we don't want them here because they're aliens, and there's bad blood between humans and aliens without us even meeting before, so we have a natural aversion to aliens. So that's basically the storyline, is that you guys are clashing with each other and just fighting and stuff, and it sounds awesome because it's an MMO and you're fighting aliens, but you can also be aliens, so you could be fighting humans. It sounds awesome, and it's going to be coming out April 2013. Devil May Cry is getting a reboot, as you probably heard if you're a Devil May Cry fan. This younger Dante is going to be fighting demons, and what's happening is that the demons can like pull him through a portal into their universe. So like he'll be fighting and everything, and when he comes back, everyone around him just thinks he's like an insane murdering person. which that's just not true, obviously. We know that, but, you know, the good people of Devil May Cry do not know that. And the game is just basically about how he has to fight these demons and also deal with what happens in the real world when he comes back. The game is set to be released January 15th of next year. Splinter Cell Blacklist got shown at E3 this week, and it looks pretty good, pretty good. I mean, what happens is that Sam Fisher is sent in by the president to go take care of these terrorists because they give the US an ultimatum of get out of our countries or we're going to attack you on your land. And so he obviously needs to get rid of this extremist group leader, and he just basically has to find the leader, kill him, and then get rid of the threat. He's got some new tools, including like a sonar type thing and also a bow and arrow. And if you have a Kinect, you can use your voice to do different things. Like one example that they gave, he was hanging off of a building and he said, "Oh, hey, you, come over here," or whatever. And the guy that was patrolling came over and he grabbed him and threw him off the roof, killing him. It was great. And then another example was his like buddy person was on the UAV and she was all like, "Hey, if you need me to do the rockets, just mark it and then let me know." So he marked it and was like, "Okay, now," and just boom, truck explosion. A nice feature of this is going to be that the single player, multiplayer, and co-op are all going to be on the same hub. So what you can do is just go straight from your single player game to a multiplayer game or to a co-op game. And that's just really convenient for us lazy people. Right now, the game has the vague release date of spring 2013, but we'll probably get a more solid date pretty soon. Hitman Absolution got some details, and this time you can choose to do a couple different things. You can cause like a lot of chaos, or you can be like really stealthy, whatever you want. You can make the kill look accidental, or just be out in the open about it. You get this kind of new thing. It's kind of like Eagle Eye from Assassin's Creed, where you just look at everyone and everyone goes gray except for like guards who turn yellow and then your target who turns like white or whatever the hell color they're using. It's pretty useful, especially if you want to be like sneaking around and stuff. And when you do make the kill, if you've been stealthy, then the guards don't even like look at you. It's pretty cool. But obviously, if you weren't stealthy, they're going to be going right for you, so that'll be a little difficult, but should be fun. There's no current release date right now for it, though. The Last of Us is looking really awesome just because the AI that's with you, your daughter or whatever, she can kind of think for herself in the game. So, like, if you're attacking someone, she'll actually go and flank them on her own. Like, you don't have to tell her anything. It's pretty cool, and I really like that about the game. Obviously, there's a lot to like about the game. The main storyline is about you and your daughter who are trying to survive in this world where there's been a virus and a lot of the population has just been killed off. But there's still people alive, and these people are dangerous, and they're gonna kill you, and they just want to just kill you, take your stuff, just to try to scrape by. And you are also trying to scrape by. You need to find supplies and stuff, so you need to go into buildings where these people are and just try to avoid them as much as possible, but obviously you can't always be avoiding them. Again, the game is called The Last of Us, and it's really awesome, and if you haven't heard of it by now, I mean, really, you should probably look it up. And finally, Sly Cooper Thieves of Time is a game where you're going to be playing as Sly Cooper, going through time back to see all of his ancestors and play as them and use their abilities to solve like all different kinds of quests and stuff and try to figure out what's going on with the Cooper name because something's gone wrong with it. There's no real details about that, but something's gone wrong and you need to fix it because, you know, the Cooper name is in jeopardy right now. PlayStation seems to have gotten the hang of its own product with this game, as you can save your game onto the cloud and then when you leave your house, go onto your PS Vita and continue the game that you were just playing. So finally the Vita looks like it's going to start being useful. This game also has a vague release date, but it's much closer as it's supposed to be released this fall. And that's all of the third-person games that I can think of. I know that I didn't really talk about Dawn Guard that much during any of these videos, and it's not going to go on the casual one, just obviously. But, like, I don't know how it would fit into anything, really, and it's really important, so I don't want to spend very little time on it. So it's just going to be part of my main video, which is going to be out on Saturday. I'm sorry, everyone, that I didn't talk about it yet, but I will be talking about it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay? Again, these are my other videos that I'm doing. So if you want to check them out, that's cool. If you don't, that's also cool. And until then, I guess I'll just see you guys later.